got all the scan file now put into Fusion 360. I did lay in my file for the LS3. Come to find out, there are a lot of similarities, but a lot of differences. Main thing being the degree on the heads itself. So not going to be able to use this as far as at least laying my planes in. So I'll have to make my own file and or my own plane that's going to go where the exhaust ports are. I also have to draw the flange because I don't have that drawn up CAD as well. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. First step, get the flange drawn, and then I'm going to lay in the collectors I have where they need to be. That's usually my good starting point. And then from there, I can go start with cylinder 1, then 3, 5, 6, 7, start with the other side, get that done, and then we have a set of headers.
How are things looking?
Well, got a little bit figured out. We got everything landed in with our original files for the Colorado chassis frame. And I did a quick little, just kind of drew the flange, nothing really exact. I just more or less need the outside and a plane so I can start fitting the tubes. I also took the time, threw in the bypasses so that way I have an outer boundary to work with. But now in CAD, I have essentially the whole thing and I can just remove.
And then this is that frame file we were talking about that we had. So we took the scan and then overlaid it onto the frame to...
And then on top of it, made it so that way I have the scan file at least separated so it's not a bunch of stuff in my way. So I can just always just check with, Adam, all right, cool, I'm clear, going down. Helps speed up the computer a lot better. And then we also laid in where our collectors are going to be. So now we have everything in there. We're going with stepped headers. So we're gonna start with 1.75" and then step them up from 1.7/8", about 6 to 8 inches after the actual head. So that's gonna help free up a lot of gas flow. And it's gonna give a little bit of back pressure right at the start and then allow things to speed up a lot faster right after all the bends. So that way there's a little less of a resonating kind of tinny frequency going through all the bends. So this should, everything on math on paper makes sense to what trying to do. But realistically, it's an instrument. So we won't know until the first fire up. But at least we're in the right direction. We're actually getting things started. We're, getting things in the right places. And now all I have to do is just start drawing lines. And again, using my supplier's catalog with certain degrees and bends and sizes, and good to go.
Cool. So next is drawing lines to start figuring out where the tubes and stuff are going.
Yep.
How do you start that? Do you just start drawing lines and kind of see how things go? What's your method to the madness on trying to get that?
Well, the first part for me, it's a little time consuming because I have to figure out what the firing order is. I already know what the firing order is, but now I have to separate that order by bank. So what I do is I'm gonna figure out what's my closest cylinder, which would be the closest to the collector is going to be on this side, cylinder 7. Cylinder 7, I normally wait till the end, but so I will start with cylinder 1 and get as close to possible. And at that point, I'm gonna start visualizing in the firing order specific rotation, which with this collector, I need to do counterclockwise. So I'm gonna start and I'm gonna fit, just as a guess, fit it to this back corner right here. And then I can kind of start just throwing some generic lines or whatever where I want it to go and start tweaking where I want it to fit. And once I have the room I feel like I need it to be, then I start adjusting that line to the length I need it to be. Once I have that figured out, then I can start laying the next cylinder, next cylinder, next cylinder. And at that point, when I have all 4, which usually right around when I have 3, I start realizing that I laid it in the wrong rotation, and then I have to kind of fix it, whatever. But at that point, it starts moving a lot faster. It's more or less just the figuring out which which entry of the collector do I want cylinder 1 to be compared to cylinder 7. That's how I never worry about the middle, because the middle are going to go on either side of that. So I have to at least figure out, can I fit 31 to 34 inches from cylinder 7 to the closest, which is the closest to the collector itself. So I got to start playing with some centerline radius and seeing what I can fit.
So we'll go from here and we'll go walk over to the truck just to see it. So is there going to be an easier side to do compared to the other, or are they going to go pretty much the same on both sides?
I always start with the harder side, which is the driver, because I have to work around a steering shaft. But realistically, that isn't the hard part. The hard part with Chevys, because of the firing order, I have to lace up some tubes that are going to fit around on the passenger side. So the driver's side comes out looking pretty because it works better in the firing order. Rotation, once I go to the passenger side, I have to start crossing tubes. So I have to come kind of through them to fit it out. So it ends up being harder, but the driver's the harder one because I have to fit it around things. I have more room on the passenger side, but it's harder to figure out.
So let's go, we've got that. Let's go walk to the truck just to go see it now from the computer, actually on the truck, kind of what we're looking at and talking. So this is it now, actually over at the truck, and you want to just kind of walk and kind of show what you're looking on the computer, but what we're doing over here?
Yeah, so I mean, it definitely looks different. I've already obviously fit everything in CAD, so I do know where everything's going to be, but the collector is actually going to be way back down here. It doesn't look like it, but in CAD, that's where we have it. So I have to fit this tube at the same time of making sure this tube is also the same length to get to where I need it to be, because this one's going to be all over the place through here. This one's going to be as straight a shot as possible because it's the shortest distance.
Do have some room that we could go up a little bit to get length out of?
Yeah, we should be able to, and that's also why I fit the bypass in there, because I'm going to probably have to come up and around and closer to the bypass here to come and make it down there.
Perfect. And then if we go walk to the passenger side, obviously not dual steer on the truck, so only one drive or one steering shaft to worry about. So
that would make some content though if we did one driver gets the steering, one driver gets the gas and throttle,
and just figure it out. Keep flipping the switch.
So this one has a lot more room, minus the starter being in the way. But the problem I have is these two cylinders are swapped in the rotation. So now it may look like I can match the other side, but what I really have to do is I have to cross both of those cylinders. So I actually have to now lace tubes together to kind of fit through each other to go.
So tie a knot between the two tubes.
Pretty much, yeah.
1 7/8 tubing in a not so big hole.
Yeah, to say the least,
Perfect. And then what are we doing past that? Once we get to the collector, what are we gonna start doing afterwards?
So right after the collector, aside from O2 bunks, that's guaranteed. We need that for the Holley ECU. But we're gonna tuck an X pipe about 20 inches past that. So we're gonna go right under the mid shaft on the drive shaft, and there's plenty of room. We already had, the last exhaust was already at that same exact level. It just wasn't crossing underneath it. So we're gonna fit it there, cross underneath, and then we're gonna come out to the exit, and we're gonna do something with the heart of NASCAR, similar to a boom tube setup. I may hate it when it's loud in driving, but I don't care because it's our exhaust.
Yep.
So we may do something crazy, but we're gonna do something really unique on that. And it's gonna take a lot of cutting and fitting and doing all sorts of stuff, but it's gonna look so cool.
Perfect. Well, let's go see some more done on the computer, and pretty soon they'll be on the truck. So Matt, I heard you made some progress on everything exhaust-wise for the truck.
Yeah, we got them dialed. Everything is exactly perfect. I wanted to go a little longer, but come to find out, we don't have room for that. So, but we're still able to get 22 inches primaries in there. So that's going to give us a good kind of mid-range, kind of a little higher than mid. We're about 4,000 to 6,000 peak torque. So that works perfect because that's going to be where we're going to living. So this all should go good as far as the math, as far as getting the horsepower going. But the real key is getting that sound. And that's where I got to work on next. But at least now, granted, it doesn't look the best on the driver's side, but we do have a lot of stuff to work around, including very large 4.0 bypasses that are kind of in the way.
Yeah, this one, there's just no way. Obviously, most trucks, pre-renters, all that stuff, you can work the exhaust to the outside of the frame rail. Just there's no way that we
there's no way we can fit it. Especially, I mean, we can fit 40s if we wanted to, but we still can't fit an exhaust back there. Yeah, it takes every bit of room. But the real fun part was the driver's side was the hardest to start with until I had to rechange that, jump to the passenger side to kind of pass some time and at least get that thing going until I changed the driver's side again, which had me redo the passenger side again because I'm putting too much time into it because it's ours and not just the customers. And I can't put that much time into a customer because they only pay so much. For us, though, I can put the time in. And the real kicker here is our pretzel. We have a pretzel on the passenger side that is fitting 22-inch primaries that are stepped up to 1 7/8 from 1 3/4 at a perfect 6-inch distance on every little bit of it, and going right into a mirrored set of cyclone collectors that are going to get us right to the perfect X pipe. So we have 2 different cyclones that are going to be matching at the X, and that's going to free up a lot of just weird noises and exhaust flow that happen. So this thing should be flowing really well out the back.
So we've thought, and we haven't gone out and measured, but we can pretty much say the old ones on the truck were 1 5/8.
Yeah, they were 1 5/8 at minimum. And the rear 2 cylinders, so cylinder 7 and cylinder 8, I think measured around 9 inches compared to cylinder 1 and 2 that were 16. So nearly double.
Everything, all different sizes lengthwise, but you also think we've gone up a 1/4 inch in diameter over the old exhaust, so just obviously a lot more.
Yeah, so what's nice too is having the step tedder is the initial exit is going to kind of have that punch, and then it's going to jump and free up a little bit. So it's going to speed up the exhaust flow after it's past the head. So that way it's all the cylinder or the back pressure needed at the exhaust valve is there, and then it's going to free up right after that. So it's going to help dial our torque in right around 4,500, 6,000.
Still just can't get over.
Yeah, that pretzel's probably one of the coolest ones I've designed. And there is still plenty of room that I can fit at least, 16th between each tube. So it's not too much. But you can see that the stepped portion right here on everything. And next part is I already have them laid out on the fixture table, so we can start figuring out how we're going to draw this up. Perfect. And start laying some tubes down.
No, that's awesome. So next step, now that we've got all this drawn, we're just figuring out some measurements for the collector back for that part of the exhaust.
Yeah, and then it's call up our good boys at JMD Tubes and get a nice order of stainless coming.
And then turn the virtual into a reality.
Absolutely.
And get these on the truck.
Ultimately hear this. And if we play this right, we should be able to finish this right as our wiring is finished. Yep. So it's literally slap the truck together and whoo, hit them loud tubes.
Oh yeah.
Let's go.
No, it's going to be.
Make some music.
First fire up on these it's going to be awesome.
We need everyone here.
Yeah.
Like we need to get the whole team together and we need the shock value. Yeah. We really do. First
startup with new exhaust, with the new PDM kind of setup. It'll be definitely good. With needing everyone here. Everyone just needs to hear it, kind of reignite that fire too. all of us are probably just now rested up from our thrash right before the mint. So
Yeah, it only took a year. But yeah, we're good. And I really want to see this pretzel in person.
Yep.
I really want to.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to enjoy doing it because I made it as hard as I physically could for myself.
yeah,
But it'll be good.
hey, it looks great. Can't wait to hear it. So it's going to be super exciting.
Yep. Awesome.
So
Well,
next
stay
step.
tuned.
Next step. This is going to be sitting in real life pretty soon. So make sure you come back and check it out. If you guys want to see anything else, drop a note in the comments.
And like, follow, subscribe, all of it. Come on. We're doing this for you guys. Let's
Keep
go.
this going.